All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up we have 3 2-minute rounds of kickboxing action for you. Would you welcome first into the blue corner, representing the Clips Martial Arts, Sam Smith. And would you welcome his opponent into the red corner, representing the Fighting Falcons, Jon Van Den Heuvel. 3 2-minute rounds of kickboxing action. Smith in the blue, Van Den Heuvel in the red.
Come on, guys, let's get behind these rivals!
Okay, gentlemen, you know what I expect. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands.
So, this is our eighth fight of the evening in Southwest Total Full Contact. This is the full-on event down here in Yeovil. We have, fighting out of the blue corner, Sam Smith for Eclipse Martial Arts, and out of the red corner, Jon Van Den Heuvel for Fighting Falcons. This is 3 2-minute rounds of kickboxing action here, Malcolm.
Yeah, Van Den Heuvel, the slightly more experienced of the two. 2 wins and 1 loss in his career, and Sam Smith lost his debut, so he'll be looking to atone for that.
He will be looking for blood.
And in reality, though, you've still got 2 young men learning their trade at the novice level here.
Have you seen either of these fighters before, Malcolm?
I'm sure I saw Sam Smith's debut. I haven't seen Jon, because I would have remembered the name. Dutch or South African to me, if you look at the surname, but what I am impressed with both of them is, because of the relative inexperience, the hands and feet combinations already are coming naturally and fluidly.
Both, I was just about to say, both very rapid fighters.
So that tells me that both young men have been well schooled already, the fact that they're willing to throw hands and feet in such natural combinations.
Both pacing themselves quite well.
And again, what I've noticed a lot tonight is, I don't know whether it's the atmosphere or the fighters really pumped up, but they've all really planted their feet early in these fights now. There's no sounding out period, but despite it being hard and hurtful, we've mentioned a lot of it has been very technical as well, which has impressed me.
I was saying exactly the same thing to Malcolm. I think previously some of the fights that we saw here were extremely scrappy, what I would call milling. But as you've just pointed out, there's been a lot of technical punching and kicking going on here.
As I said, despite the fact they've planted their feet and hitting hard with shots like that, right hand from Smith landed flush on the button, but Van Den Heuvel just took it and was ready to come straight back.
Tourniquet there didn't quite catch.
Now for me, Smith's doing everything right except when he's finishing his work. If he can move away and make Jon Van Den Heuvel chase, it'd be perfect. But each time when he's finished his work like that, he gives Van Den Heuvel the chance to come back at him.
Yes, indeed. He's throwing the kick and he's not following it through afterwards.
Now, see, for me, Sam Smith, that lead leg all day. Punch it out the front kick. Punch the front kick out from that lead leg. Then use your hands underneath. With this height advantage, I'd be disappointed every time Van Den Heuvel came close enough to really work the combinations. That's where I'd be sideways on. I wouldn't throw the right hand.
2 very rapid fighters though there, Malcolm. At the same time, the techniques were very clean.
They were.
The agreed weight of both is 64 kilograms, so they're extremely light and you know, up on their feet.
A lot of the time you can get away with it because your opponent's coming in on that straight line, but if he takes the lateral movement and outside of that front kick with your hands dropped, you're in a world of trouble.
If you try that with someone who knows how to use the area well.
And again, come through with the rear leg. Use that long lead leg, Smithy.
Do it, come on, do something.
But even there on the clinch, you know, Van Den Heuvel, he used the clinch well. He tried to score off of the clinch, and again, a mistake from the novice fighters today. They will clinch and just hold on to each other, and no points will get scored from it.
But what he's doing is negating the reach advantage of Smith by closing the gap quickly and getting inside him. From here, watch how quickly he will come forward when he decides to attack. He shoots in, and suddenly it's inside the long range of Sam Smith.
We've seen a lot of these guys here tonight from Fighting Falcons. I think we've had a good 3 or 4 fights now, I do believe.
Yeah. Good gym. Well, they both have. That was the first really clean shot, and it was from Van Den Heuvel, which inspired Smith to come back, but right through the channel from Van Den Heuvel. And that success comes from what I said he does very well. He closes the gap quickly, shoots inside, and then the man with the longer limbs, it suddenly becomes a disadvantage. And again there, while we're on novice mistakes, Van Den Heuvel just throwing the lead right without setting it up. It can take you off balance if you miss. But again, he lands with that straight right and then gets in close to frustrate Smith. And you heard his corner say, sit in the pocket, sit in there. Now, if I'm Smith, you get that range, you pump out the left jab or the lead leg, the left leg, to keep your man at bay before you then push him back if you see an off-balance movement. If you're doing that jab and that left leg, you get your man off balance, then you come in and you work. He's allowing Van Den Heuvel to get in too close and do his own work just like that. And it's the only difference between them. But again, I must reiterate that they've only had 4 fights between them. There's so much time for these youngsters.
See, again, as I said earlier, Van Den Heuvel does use the clinch to his advantage when he comes in there.
For me, he's just taking these 2 rounds by closing the gap, negating Sam Smith's height and reach advantage, and as you said, working from the clinch, especially when they're just broken, he comes straight back in again. And I think he's just edging this points-wise. It's a very close fight, and despite the novice mistakes which you pick up on, you can see they're well skilled. They're both very technical. They both use the hands and feet in combination. They've just got to stick at it. The only way to get better is never the sparring, it's the fights. Every fight you have, you improve.
So do you expect to see these 2 fighters, you know, here again?
Oh, most definitely. Now, if, for example, Sam Smith loses this, on his record you're going to see 0-2, but that doesn't reflect that actually he's a very good little fighter.
A loss. Every time you lose, you should be looking back at that fight and you should be saying, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? And using that to your advantage.
Now, as it is, Sam Smith come out very lively here in the 3rd, and that's the right thing to do. Nice movement as well, making it a bit more difficult for Van Den Heuvel. Now this time the rear leg lands. He threw it with confidence, and he's come out a different fighter here in the 3rd, and you can hear his corner. They're taking real heart from this start to the 3rd round. And the difference is Van Den Heuvel is suddenly allowing him to initiate, whereas before he would be the one to burst in. Twice now Smith has been the one to initiate and looks far better for it. See, and again, 3rd time. Took a short right there in retaliation from Van Den Heuvel, but I feel Smith looks a better fighter when he takes that initiative.
Indeed, you can see though that Smith does like to keep him at bay. Every time Van Den Heuvel comes close, goes straight in for the clinch.
Yes, and that right hand now Smith's got to look for, because
again here.
Which he can frustrate an opponent. I've seen many times a fighter get his work done, get in close, tie a man up, then when they separate you again, he leaps in, scores the point, holds. Not pretty for the crowd, but it does score points. Like now, he throws the left, he holds, it stops you working back. Just being told to tidy it up here now. Too much holding.
I was just about to say this round, the fight seemed to have moved slightly scrappy. Whereas as we started off, both fighters were fresh. The techniques were a lot cleaner. As they've started to get tired, the techniques have started to get scrappy. Malcolm.
And again, nice left leg on the end of that combination from Van Den Heuvel. And you can hear the crowd's response to both the men upping their game now. And I feel Smith is actually better when he's initiating. That's what Van Den Heuvel's good at. Close the gap. It's not pretty, but once he's closed the gap, he ties you up. He's not going to get scored against once he's scored his points. Which again, how many times have you seen in points contact where you burst forward, you get the point, the ref stops it and you go again. Quickness off the mark, and he saw it perfectly there from Van Den Heuvel. And I think that's just the difference between the two. If you're looking to give the fight one way, you're going to go that way just ever so gently because of this.
I think Van Den Heuvel, to me, seems to be a bit more of a technical fighter here than Sam Smith. I find that
but Smith hurt him there for the first time in the fight. Smith hurt him.
He seems to be. Van Den Heuvel seems to use the area more. He knows how to use the ropes. He knows how to use the clinch.
These two fighters, he's won his career. What a fight!
Ladies and gentlemen, as always tonight, please, let's hear it for two very talented young men in this ring. Both these young men have got big futures ahead of them. But we do have a unanimous decision. Our judges in favour of the red corner,